Rip them out the plastic. These men been acting brand new.
Alright, shout out to the Shade Room for this content. But if you haven't known, this man grew 7 inches after his surgery. So we about to see why.
Brand new.
When I'm motivated about something, I like to see it through.
And it's no short task. Men are going viral, getting surgery on their knees to make them appear taller. I'm Justin Carter. This is TSR Investigates. Height matters, says dozens of men who've been sharing their surgery stories on social media. And the bottom line with these guys is that they are not happy standing at around 5'5". They say that they're reminded when they go out on dates with women or stand next to taller guys in pictures. And social media has fueled the popularity of a growing medical procedure that promises to fix those insecurities one rod at a time.
I was 5'5.5".
And that wasn't cutting it for Moses Gibson when he moved to the United States from Liberia for college back in the early 2000s.
It started sometime around when I was, I'd say probably 13, 14. If you remember around our age, kids, you're normally comparing your heights. You know, boys, you turn your back and then compare your height with each other and all that kind of stuff, you know. From there, I just saw that I was always the shorter one.
He got older and started reading up on human growth hormones. Even spoke to a spiritual healer who told him this.
He said, well, it's possible, but it has to come from you. You have to believe that it can be done.
But that wasn't giving him the leg up he's always wanted in the height department.
Shortpersonsupport.com. That's where I found all the information that this can be done.
Limb lengthening surgery. A surgeon breaks each of your legs, inserts rods inside of them.
So you mean to tell me they got some devices that they surgically put into your knee, lengthen the surgery as a procedure where rods are inserted into your legs, which eventually lengthen them over the course of several months. That sounds crazy to me. Come on, man. Y'all want to be tall that bad, and he still got the little voice, because you know tall people's voice is kind of deep.
Rods inside of them, and over the course of 3 to 4 months, the rods are lengthened using an external remote control device called an ERC. It's a slow process. The rods stretch up to 1 millimeter per day until new bone grows over those rods. Dr. Shahab Mahboubian performed Gibson's first surgery back in 2016, a $75,000 procedure. He went from 5'5" to 5'8".
I make very, very tiny, small incisions. We cut the bone where we insert the nail and screws that hold everything together. There is pain, yes, but it's very tolerable. But that's why I keep my patients in the hospital for a couple of days to make sure that A, they don't have any major complications.
This is Gibson today, now recovering from a second round that'll take him to 5'10". It's another $100,000 that he spent to make it happen earlier this year.
You've been in a wheelchair for months?
Yes. The more you walk, the faster you generate bone and the faster it hardens.
But the risk is what we wanted to know about. Could a surgery like this do more harm than good long term? Dr. Mahboubian says in some cases, yes.
Everything that we use in medicine has to be approved by the FDA, including the implants that I use to lengthen their legs. I've seen a few patients where, you know, they went to another country, they used the same nail that I use, but they lengthened it so quickly without checking that they ended up without building any bone. So the whole surgery had to be redone again.
I would say that it gave me a little bit more confidence. Before, I was hesitant to talk to ladies, talk to females, but after that, I didn't care so much about my height. It was not, after the first one, it was not a thing in the back of my mind constantly.
This episode of TSR Investigates is not intended to contain medical advice. All content is for informational purposes only and is not to substitute for medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment from your physician or other healthcare provider. Please contact your physician for any personalized medical care and any questions you may have about a medical condition. For TSR Investigates, I'm Justin Carter.
Y'all want to be tall that bad. Man, dude has spent $100,000 on this surgery. to be 5'10". Wasn't happy with the height God blessed you with, so you wanted to create your own height and how you feel you should have been. Ain't no way I'm gonna mess with something like that. I do not like the idea of surgery, and it's, you know what I'm saying, like, no. No, I'm sorry, that's just not for me. But if you have to do it for medical reasons, okay, that's one thing, but do willingly, no thank you.
This story out of California is pretty messed up, and heads up, the footage is disturbing. It all went down on public transit in San Diego, where a surveillance camera on a trolley spotted a 19-year-old passenger erratically rocking back and forth in his seat. Around 10 minutes later, another person gets off the trolley and makes a call to 911 about the passenger caught on camera.
Well, I'm at the Irish Avenue trolley station, but on the trolley, there was I think he was crazy. He was foaming at the mouth, but he had a weapon, a gun.
The trolley's camera then captures the passenger pull a gun from his waistband and begin waving it around. And as it arrives at another station, it spots him walking directly up to the camera and aiming the gun at the lens. Cops soon arrive at the trolley station and find the guy seated on board.
Hey, I got eyes. Hey, I got him. Where's that? City of Police! Hands up! Hey, I need to open the door right now. Open the door.
This is where things take a turn. Again, this might be hard to watch. The officers go to open the door to the trolley.
It's opening. It's opening. This guy right here, right? Hey, City of Police! Hands up! Hey, let me see your fucking hands! Let me see your fucking hands! Drop!
And as the passenger stands up, he begins to pull the gun from his waistband. Officers then open fire. Police performed medical aid on the passenger, but the teen died on the scene before medics arrived. This all went down earlier this month, but the footage was just released. It turns out the 19-year-old passenger wasn't armed with a real gun, but instead a BB gun meant to resemble a Glock. In the heavily armed United States, where there are more guns than people, police have been warning the public for years about carrying replica guns because cops often treat replica weapons as if they were real weapons. A Washington Post database that tracks police shootings has found that nearly 300 people armed with replicas have been shot and killed by officers this year alone. That's nearly 1/3 of the roughly 1,000 police killings carried out over the past 12 months. Police haven't released more details about why the teen was armed and what may have led to the shooting, but the whole thing is still being investigated.
Man, shout out to my man Greg over at Crime Line, but this is crazy. I mean, look at this guy, a teenager with a fake gun, and he said over 300 people died because of fake guns. They got it in the newspaper, no fake guns. Stop carrying fake guns, because that shit looked real to me. I'm pretty sure those folks on that train or subway or trolley or whatever thought the same thing. Man, like, he must have been going through something, because that was a suicide attempt of someone who wanted to die.